What's up, spooky crew? What's everybody up to today? So I wanted to, do some spooky things like reading spooky stories on Reddit. I have grown to like Reddit. At first, I had a very weird experience with Reddit, okay? But now I like it. But we're not doing this alone, okay? We're here with the Haunted Florida mascot. He's gonna keep us, safe from all the spooky stories. Okay, so the first story is from Call Me Star. Ooh, this is 5 years ago. Things were more unhinged at that time, okay? Many years ago, I was in a dark place, mentally and spiritually speaking, not the happiest in my life. One night while I was sleeping, I woke up to a shadow person standing over my bed. I wonder if that's like sleep paralysis. Maybe 4 feet tall. Oh, damn, that's short. It looked similar to a vampire, possibly female. I knew I'd seen it. It was smiling. I cowardly rolled over and pretended to sleep. This happened a few more times that month, although it changed shapes. Finally, I fought back, literally. The last time I woke up to the shadow person feeding off me, I started punching at it. At its face, looked horrified. They're scared of us too, I realized. After that night, they never came back, ever. Strangely, I had a roommate move in who had similar but worse night terrors, and he said that when he moved in, his night terrors disappeared. I think they fed off those in dark places. So cheer up, folks. True story. Anyone else have any shadow people? Okay, they were asking a question at the end. Interesting. I would, as an investigator, I would say it was more so like sleep paralysis, where it feels super real, and like you fighting it off was you fighting off your own demons, essentially, if that makes any sense. Would you agree? You're so cute. Anyways, this one's from Deleted, okay? So this happened a couple months ago, and I haven't really been able to talk about it. My mom, my sister, and I decided to go get ice cream from Dairy Queen. Oh, I fucking love Dairy Queen. As we were going down the road to turn in, there was a bunch of police lights and some kind of barricade or blockage, so we went as far as we could. We noticed this guy walking backwards towards us with something in his ear like a phone. My sister was driving and it hit me. There was 5 or 6 officers with their guns pointed at this guy screaming, and I yelled at my sister to floor it, and my mom put her head down. I didn't know what was going on, but we got out there as fast as we could. Seeing that many guns pointed at you is heart-stopping. Sadly, we found out later that the man had a gun to his head, and shortly after we had gotten out of there, he ended his life next to the road. I don't know. It's hard to fathom all of it. Like, could we have been SHOT? I don't know if this is good for like YouTube, so I'm spelling it out. Could we have been helpful? Could things have gone differently? Part of me ever wonders if we had just gone the other way instead of getting as close as we did. Would they have been able to capture him sooner and help him? I don't know. Like I said, it's been hard to even think about. I would not blame yourself for that, okay? When you have that many firearms pointing in your direction, I think the best option was to GTFO out of there, okay? I think you made the right choice. He agrees. I think you made the right choice. That wasn't a horror story in a paranormal aspect, but it's definitely scary, I will say. It's definitely scary. Alright. 2 near-death experiences. I apologize for bad formatting as I am on my phone. It's no worry, Demon Barber Todd. 1. I am a scuba diver, and during the rescue training dive, I was headed down, and my regulator malfunctioned. I was gulping down the salt water trying to breathe air, and luckily my scuba buddy saw me drowning, helped me release my weights and fill air into my BCD, which made me skyrocket to the surface. From about 100 feet down, I nearly drowned. I was so dizzy and seeing spots when I got up. After I recovered, I had to go back down without getting to land to retrieve the fin I had lost. I think I would leave the fin there. I don't know much about like drowning, but I know you can drown on air too. Like if you accidentally inhale too much water, you're still at a drowning risk even if you've been rescued from the water. I do know that, okay? I do know that. Alright, so we have found a really interesting story by Charlie Wamhazu. I don't know how to say that. Sorry. This one says, we used to live in a battered woman's and children's shelter when I was young because my father was looking for us. Ugly divorce. Alabama gave him custody. My mom took us away to the state. One night I was looking into the mirror and I saw like a hairy demon looking back at me. I screamed and cried and ran to get my mom, who assured me it was just a normal mirror. But that night, a kind-looking man that I can only describe as a ghost appeared at the end of my bed. He was there all night, but gone when I woke up in the morning. Then the next night and the next night. He was there every night for 4 months. We never talked. He never moved. He just stood guard. Then one night he woke me up from my sleep, and I'll never forget how surprised I was because I'd never seen him move or talk. He said, "He's coming. Get out now." So we packed up the car and left the hotel for the night. The next morning, we went back to find someone had broken in and gone room to room looking for someone. I never saw the spirit again after that. That's crazy. I fully believe, like, there are many times I've seen spirits help people that they didn't even know who they were. They were just like, but I fully believe that's like a spirit guide kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's got to be like a spirit guide kind of thing. Anyways, this next one is from Armantes. I'm so bad at pronouncing names, so forgive me. Middle of the night, sleeping, I hear a sound like someone is taking a paper clip from my desk and throwing it against the wall, and it bounces across the desk. Middle of the night, sleeping, I hear a sound like someone is taking a paperclip from my desk and throwing it against the wall, and it bounces across my desk. Okay, I did read that right. I was just making sure. I woke up to this noise, turn on the light right by my bed as I sit up. I look over and see nothing. Weird. As I'm ready to lay back down with my 20-pound steel gumball machine falls on the floor, over my bed directly onto my pillow where my head was not even 30 seconds earlier. Damn! I flip out and scramble out of my bed as I'm totally shaken by this. As I stand up, I feel something under my feet, the paperclip. That's crazy! What? Oh my... No way. Like, that's actually crazy. They then said, I put the murderous gumball machine on the floor, the paperclip back on my desk, and crawled into the safety of my comforter. Nothing like that ever happened again. When I was growing up, this is by Jade something. I don't know how to pronounce that. Jade Lee Gumi. When I was growing up, I was tight with the daughter of my dad's cousin. So my second cousin, I suppose. Her name was Lisa. We grew up closer as teenagers, too close really. Anyways, we winded up a little and went our separate ways. Too close really. Anyway, we wised up a little and went our separate ways. Told you I can't read. When it was time for college. College. A few years passed and I had moved on. One night, a few years passed and I have moved on. This isn't like some weird incest thing, right? Right? I hope not. Okay. One night I got up to take a pee. Didn't bother to turn on the lights. As I was washing my hands and glanced in the mirror, there she was, Lisa was standing in the middle of the doorway behind me. I heard the echo of her voice. She told me that she still loved me and always would. She then turned and walked out of sight. I stood holding onto the sink for a moment, my heart pounding in my chest. I calmed myself down and decided it was just a dream. I tried to go back to bed. My pillow smelled like her. She could have been in the room seconds ago. I lay back down, and as I drifted off to sleep, I felt her warm, familiar presence against my back. The next morning, there was no sign of her, no scent, no indent in the covers. I wrote it off as a dream. I got a call from my mom later that day. She told me that Lisa had passed a few days earlier. She had been unalived by her boyfriend. He got drunk and angry and hit her, and that was that. I guess she stopped by to see me one more time to say goodbye before she moved on. Here's to you, Lisa, 20 years later, and you're still the only woman I truly loved. Aww. I was tight with I gotta go back to the beginning, okay? I was tight with the daughter of my dad's cousin. So my second cousin, I suppose. Listen. I don't judge. Okay? To me, if it's in the family, whether it's blood or not, it's in the family. I'm just saying. Rest her soul. Sorry. Ooh, this one has an F bomb in it, like first sentence. As a 4-year-old, I fucking hated tying my shoes. Dude, I'm 28 years old and I hate tying my shoes. It takes too long, okay? I was terrible at it, and progress there was just not happening. One morning, I was throwing a fit because my mom told me to tie my shoes before we left the house, and I was trying to avoid this horrible responsibility while crying and screaming on the third or fourth step of the staircase. The ceiling above the staircase extended from the second floor horizontally to the space above the first step, where it met a vertical wall that connected to the second floor ceiling to the first. Imagine a big upside down L. That's exactly how our staircase was in my family home. So my podcast is screaming on one of the lower steps, and my gaze drifts upwards a few minutes. I stop crying immediately and go silent. I distinctly, remember seeing a man in a sharp black suit with the head of a boar, only blue and complete with tusk and fur, bracing himself in the corner of the ceiling like a ninja, above my head staring down at me. He didn't say anything to me, but I know what he wanted. My mom began to ask what happened, noticing my abrupt change in mood, and I cut her off in a monotone, saying, "Only he told me to be good." Ew. Don't be a punk ass, apparently. The boar man's coming. The boar man. That's terrifying. I don't like that. This one's a little bit longer. Lived in an old 2-bedroom, 3-story walk-up for a time in my early 20s in Toronto. A few days after moving in, my roommate Mike chides, Chides, me in the morning for banging on the wall that separated our bedrooms, and pacing back and forth across the apartment at night. We just agreed he must have been dreaming, or it was a sound from another apartment, as I had done no such thing. We agreed that it must have been nothing and left it at that, but this became a regular nightly occurrence. Shortly thereafter, I started noticing at certain times in my own bedroom the cloying smell of cheap woman's perfume. Cloying. I think I said that right. I don't know. Mixed with a damp, musty smell. Imagine an old person's clothes left on a damp, musty basement floor next to a litter box that wasn't being changed often enough, and you'll get the idea. Mothballs. What made it even weirder is that I would be filled with a sudden horrible sense of foreboding a few months before that smell would begin. Mike flaked out and left only 4 months into the 1-year lease, which meant I was left footing the rent for the entire place until I can find another roommate. I had decided to try to sleep in his bedroom shortly after he moved to see if things would get better. The very first night I slept in the former room, I had an incredibly detailed and realistic nightmare of myself standing in a dimly lit bathroom of the apartment and cutting my own face with a large shard of glass while staring onto the broken bathroom mirror. It was only broken in my dream. So, that's like that one movie, Mirrors. Terrifying. That movie scared the shit out of me, yo. Soon after that, I started to hear loud bangs at night and the flushing of toilet in the bathroom. Several times the hot water in the bathroom turned on full blast in the middle of the night. How did you know it was hot water? Or is it like different for Canada? Or maybe because the spigot's hot water. Okay. One of the freakier things that happened not too long before I moved is the time I woke up to the TV blaring Poltergeist on City TV at about 2 in the morning. I love that movie. Me and that ghost would have been best friends because I love that movie. That's crazy. Some people experience the weirdest fucking shit. Like, I literally bought a haunted historical house to like further my research into the paranormal. And my ish here is super chill. We're also friends, though. We're also friends. I'm friends with my spooky roommates. You can barely see this little guy, but look how freaking cute. Little baby. I'm gonna go and probably read like one or two more. Okay? One or two more, and then I'm gonna give my assessment on everything. Honestly, I can't even remember what I read on the first half of this, honestly. So, let's go. Okay, so this one is by Nidian Ecolo. Don't ask. When I was a kid, my brother and I would get stuck with babysitting the neighbor's kid. His name was Alex. Alex was really fond of my Lego set that I had in the corner of my room, now facing the window. He would play for hours, staying preoccupied while my brother and I would be playing video games in the living room. So one night when I fell asleep on the couch while babysitting, my brother came to me and said, Alex is under your bed and shaking. I asked, what's wrong with him? My brother told me to follow him into the room and try to talk him back out from under my bed. I go inside to find him on the verge of tears as he was trembling profusely under my bed. I asked Alex, what's wrong? Why are you under there? Alex whispered, it. While looking at my sliding closet, as I walked towards the bed in order to help him out, he ran. He ran all the way back over to his house and waited on the front steps until his parents got home. Now, my parents were out to dinner with his, and he explains the whole story in detail to both his parents and mine. His explanation sent shivers down my spine when my brother and I left the house to meet up with his parents to find out what happened. My mom told me that Alex was playing with my Legos and hear a slight murmur from the closet, something that resembled a faint vocalization of, come here, come here, come here, little kid, something like that. He said that he looked behind him and noticed my closet had a slight opening with the light peering from my lamp. He stated he stared at the crack until he saw an eyelid open. He told us that there was a man in my closet. Alex then hid under my bed after he gave out a slight yelp, which attracted my brother's attention. My family rushes back into the house and into my room. In horror, we find my closet door rocked open. My window had been left open and was previously closed, and a few things knocked over which had not been touched previously. We still don't know what force we were reckoning with that evening. Thank God nothing more serious happened. That's crazy. So that leaves me because if the window was previously closed, and now you have the closet door open and the window open, I would say that would probably be more so less paranormal and more so of an intrusion, like somebody broke in. And that's terrifying because people are honestly more horrifying than spirits, in my opinion. Who knows what could have happened to that kid? That's so scary. But if the window was closed, how did he get in there in the first place? I don't know, but that's weird. That's weird, right? That's weird. I don't like that. Anyways, I'm gonna stop there. My throat's getting a little dry. I need some freaking water or something. Because damn. But I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. You can find them on Reddit. They're pretty cool. I would give my honest opinion, but the only story I remember now is the last one I read. This is why I hate reading, because I don't remember anything I've read. That's so bad. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are. And if you enjoy all things spooky, you like paranormal investigations, you have spooky questions yourself that you want me to answer for you, leave everything down below in the comments. Just let me know. If not, and you're just here to vibe, that's cool. Hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with me, and make sure you hit that bell notification so YouTube can be like, hey, this dummy posted again, go watch. I hope you guys have a great day, and yeah, bye. I love you guys. Mwah.